Hello there, welcome to another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. This is a show where we talk about all things in pop culture that we love, new and old movies, trailers, different types of books, TV, streaming, lots of stuff in fandom that we love. I'm one of your hosts, Gregory Barrett. My wife, Christine, she's not here today. Oh, and this is Fluffy Kitty, who seems to be a bit agitated today. I finally got her to calm down. And now she's agitated again, so Star's being a bit difficult. Come on, kitty. Come on, kitty. Please don't mess with the camera there. I finally had to bribe her with the brush to get her to sit down. She seems to really be enjoying that. So, moving on. I'm going to break down the show for you today. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through some April movie picks, because we like to do our picks at the beginning or at the end of every month there for what we're looking forward to the most and what we think will make the most money. I got a little bit of news. I do have a bunch of news that's related to some of the other things that I'm going to review. Hey, kitty. I'm going to review later on, but I'll probably save that for the next episode. Got a whole bunch of trailers to review. This is crazy. I mean, this has been a trailer smorgasbord palooza this week. We got Blue Beetle from DC Warner Brothers, Secret Invasion from Marvel Studios Disney, Barbie trailer, which is also from Warner Brothers, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 from Sony Columbia Pictures, Migration from Illumination Universal Pictures. We got a Netflix April preview for what they're coming out with for the whole month of April this year. And then just this morning, we got a new Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny trailer. So I'm going to be reviewing that. Well, reacting to the trailer at least. Then jumping into our reviews, we got the Super Mario Brothers movie, Air Courting a Legend. We're also going to be doing another segment of Into the DCEU, where we're going to be discussing the second movie, which is Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Christine and I recorded that before she left. And Christine and I also recorded our next segment of Nap Time at Hogwarts, where we reviewed Harry Potter 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's going to be a packed show, and we still got tons of more new stuff that I'm going to have to do in the next episode. Yellow Jacket, Star Wars, Mandalorian, a whole bunch of other things. So it's a busy week. Christine will be back. She's just visiting her family for the Easter weekend, and she'll be back in a week or two. So jumping right into it, what we like to do is our picks. So for April, got a whole bunch of movies coming out. Now, I picked out 11 of them. Some are in wide release, some are in limited release. I hope they all come here, but it's already first weekend of April, and, well, it's been the first week of April, and some of them are already not coming here, which I'm kind of disappointed about that. So first off, we got Air Courting a Legend, which just came out this week. Super Mario Brothers movie also came out this week. Paint, that's the Bob Ross parody movie with Owen Wilson. Mafia Mama with Toni Collette. I haven't even seen a trailer for that, but I have heard a couple of things, so I should check out the trailer for that. Renfield, which has got Nick Cage and Nicholas Hoult. It's got the two Nicks in it. That looks pretty funny. The Pope's Exorcist, which if you're a horror movie fan, then that might be appeal to you. I'm not really that much, so those movies don't really speak to me all that much. Beau is Afraid. That's the new Ari Aster movie from A24 Studio. Evil Dead Rise, another big horror movie coming out. Getting a lot of horror stuff this year so far. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, which I don't know that much about. I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Chevalier. That is not about the car company. That is Chevrolet. That is about it's about a black violinist in, hold on, what is that? 18th century France, around the time of the end of the monarchy in France with what was that? King Louis the 16th? I think was the last one, and Marie Antoinette, his wife. If you know your history, you know what happened to them. And Big George Foreman, which is a boxing legend. I'm not going to speak for Christine on this. When it comes to these movies, I think the one I was looking forward to the most would have been the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I am reviewing later on in this episode. That's the one I was looking forward to the most. I've already seen it at this point, so yeah, I should have done these picks before it got to April. Just been so busy with everything, and we always have packed shows, so we always have tons to talk about. And also, I think that's the movie that is gonna make the most for this month, coming out in April, because it's got wide appeal. You know, it can appeal to younger kids, older kids, teenagers. It can appeal to young adults. Maybe not so much appeal to older audiences, such as, say, Gen Xers and older, but for millennials, I think there's a lot of nostalgia for that property, for the Mario Brothers franchise. I think people will really enjoy that. Now, I'm quite disappointed because I was looking forward to seeing Paint with Owen Wilson in it, and it's out this weekend, and it's not playing here. So, that's a bummer. Now, maybe it's just in limited release, and if it does well, they'll expand and it'll come here to where we are in St. John's area here in Canada. I hope so. Some of these other movies, I mean, some of these horror movies like The Pope's Exorcist and Evil Dead Rise, I've heard a lot of people talking about them, and people always show up for good horror movies, so they might make a lot of money, but my bet is probably going to be on the Super Mario Brothers movie to make the most. Now, going back to our previous picks, what do I got here? According to BoxOfficeMojo.com, for the domestic market, which means North America, US, and Canada, for January, both Christine and I had said that we predicted Megan would make the most money for what came out in January, and we were actually both right, because according to this, it is currently number 7 in the domestic North American market at, what did it make? 95 million. Now, for February, Christine said she was looking forward to Knock at the Cabin. I mean, I was looking forward to it. She did finally get to see it, and we reviewed it a few weeks ago, her review of it. And I don't think she enjoyed it that much. I didn't think it was that great either. It was kind of just it wasn't bad, but it was just kind of a nothing movie. For me. If you enjoyed it, don't let me take that away from you. Feel free to write in a comment down below and let us know why you liked it so much. I'd love to hear from you. The one I was looking forward to the most, and what I predicted would make the most from February, was Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania, and Christine said that as well too. It is currently 212 million, so it's only behind Avatar, which came out in December. So we're right on that one, but that was a disappointing movie. Wasn't bad. It was just kind of boring and nothing, and just a lot of like way over the top wackiness, too much visual effects. It just felt fake. And some of the performances in it, I mean, there's a special guest celebrity cameo in it, and it's completely wasted. If you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about, and the person that we're talking about. I'd say the movie that I enjoyed the most from February was probably from January would have been Missing, which stars Storm Reed. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. That's a fun time. It's a good edge of your seat kind of. It's not a murder mystery, but it's a whodunit mystery trying to unravel a case, because it's about a missing person. If you saw the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. And from February, what movie did I enjoy the most from February? Probably Cocaine Bear. Wasn't perfect, but it was fun. It didn't make the most money. It's currently only sitting at 63.9 million. As for March, I can't remember what Christine said, and I forgot to write it down in my show notes, so that's my bad. I said the movie I was looking forward to the most in March was Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Now, if you've been following box office or following entertainment news, you know that this movie has bombed hard. And that's very unfortunate because it's a very fun movie. Maybe not as good as the first one. Some people say it's better than the first. Some people say the other one is first. It's subjective, whatever your opinion is. I mean, neither one's opinion is wrong. I had a lot of fun with it. I wish this movie had done better, just not because I care if the studio makes money off of it. The reason why I was hoping for it to do good and wish I hope do better is because if these movies don't do well, the studios aren't going to keep making them. Because the studios, whether it be Warner Brothers or any of the other ones, they're in the business of making money. And if they lose money, they don't keep making these movies. So if people don't come out and support them in the theater, then, you know, they ain't making these big budget superhero movies anymore. And this one was really fun. The director is kind of David F. Sandberg. He took a lot of crap on that, and he's been dealing with a lot of like fanboy outrage, and then he came out in the media saying he's not going to do any more superhero movies. He wants to go back into horror movies because it's just toxic fandom. I mean, if you don't like a movie, that's fine. What I do is I didn't like this movie. Here's why it didn't work for me. If you enjoyed it, great. I'm jealous of that, and then we move on. We don't need to give people a hard time. If you liked a movie and I didn't, I'm not going to give you a hard time on that. I want to hear your opinion. If you liked a movie and I didn't, you know, nothing wrong with that. And vice versa too. If I liked it and you didn't, it's not for everyone. It's art, right? Everyone's going to have a different opinion on it. So that was the movie I was looking forward to the most in March. Did I enjoy that the most for March? What else came out in March? John Wick Chapter 4. I'd say I enjoyed Shazam more than that. Creed 3. Now, yeah, I'd say I enjoyed Shazam more than that. For me, best movie that I saw in March would be between Shazam and Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Now, I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But in terms of what has made the most box office in North America, it was Creed 3 at $149.9 million so far. John Wick is at $128.1 million. It might catch up, but I said that one might be might make the most. But I mean, it's rated R, so you get less of an audience comfort right there, and it has a 2-hour and 49-minute runtime, which means less screenings. And it had a big drop off its second weekend, so it might catch up. But right now, it's looking like Creed 3 made the most for March. As for Dungeons and Dragons, I do have some news on that. According to an article that came out on Variety, which hopefully I'll put up on screen, it came out on April 2nd. So April 2nd was the Sunday. That was when they got the predictions for the box office for its opening weekend when Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves opened up. It said that it made $38.5 million opening for North America. According to boxofficemojo.com, the actuals were $37.2 million. Okay, so a little bit off there by $1 million. And worldwide it is currently sitting at, what is this? I'm getting notifications that are popping up. Looking back, jeez. Interrupting my show for memories of old photos. Worldwide, Dungeons and Dragons made $82.7 million so far this year. Which sounds good, but it's actually bad. According to this article from Variety, it says the film cost $150 million before its hefty marketing campaign. Which, that's kind of sad because this is a fun movie. It's not perfect. They did give away a lot in the trailer, but you do have to kind of let people know what it's about. If you're one of those people that was on the fence about seeing Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, I recommend go checking it out. It's definitely worth the price of admission, even if you have to go and pay full price. But just go on Tuesday night and see it on cheap night. It's a fun time. And it's fun for, as I said before, I would say it's fun for pretty much all ages except for really young kids because it might scare them. So I would say kids 8 and up, just in my opinion. I mean, it's up to parents. I mean, don't listen to me. I don't tell people what to do. But I recommend checking this out. It's a really fun time. Go check it out in the theater because if as I was saying before, if these movies don't make money, they ain't going to keep making them. and everyone is great, and it's quite funny. I definitely enjoyed that there. So going on for April, where's my notes there? My pick is for both is that the Super Mario Brothers. That's kind of my pick for both. Now I'm going to review it later on, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. So now we're going to move into some other segments there. Looks like Kitty has finally calmed down there. Okay, so moving on to the next segment. Hi there, our next segment is going to be all about trailers, because this week was a really big week for trailers. Now, Christine is not here this week, but she's off visiting family. She'll be back. Our stars are around, both kitties are around, but they're just being difficult. I'm Gregory Barrett, one of the hosts here for Canada's Movie and TV Hosers, so let's jump right into it. Our first trailer we got at the beginning of the week was for Blue Beetle. Now, this is a DC movie from Warner Brothers. I'll admit, I don't really know anything about this character, Blue Beetle. This is one of the more obscure DC heroes, and as I'm more of a Marvel person than DC, I do enjoy both, but I decided to check it out. Apparently it's part of the existing DC extended universe, and we got a pretty fun trailer. This stars, I can never pronounce this guy's name, and so I can never remember it, Zolo Mariduena. I'm probably butchering that name. That sounds terrible. This is the guy from Cobra Kai. If you've been watching Cobra Kai on Netflix for the past few years, this is the main guy. He plays Miguel on that series. He's really good, and I really enjoy that show, or I used to enjoy that show. It was really funny. So that brought me, that piqued my interest for this trailer. And this is coming out, apparently, in wide release, August 18th. So it's coming out this summer. Having watched the trailer, you get to see some of the origin of it. There's a funny joke at the beginning where it makes it look like he's this big rich guy and he's a player. But it turns out he's just a guy who works at the resort and he has to scrape a bunch of gum off tables and that. So, typical life of a young student. And we see this crazy wackiness about this Beetle. It's a tech thing. It takes him over, which I'm not too crazy about that. It does look like it has some pretty funny moments in it. There's a good family dynamic in it. And some of his family members they're kind of acting over the top. It's like, oh my God, it's on your face. I mean, check out the trailer for yourself on YouTube. I found it pretty hilarious. It does seem to me, though, it does have kind of a CW vibe, which is one of the, if you've ever watched any of the CW Arrowverse shows, there's, so Arrow, The Flash, Black Lightning, Supergirl, all those shows are part of the Arrowverse, and there's several others there. It just seems as if it was made for TV. I know this movie was originally supposed to be made for HBO Max, so it was supposed to be for their streaming service. And then Warner Bros. Regime decided to, no, this is good. We're going to put it in theaters. So it shows they have confidence in this property, and maybe they've just made a really good movie here. I mean, so far all we've seen, it's fun, but it looks like more of the same. There's a great comment at the end. He's talking about the other superheroes and Batman, and then one of his family members says, Batman's a fascist. I wonder if that would bother hardcore Batman fans. I mean, I'm a fan of Batman. Didn't really bother me. What'd you think of it? It's overall piqued my interest. Gonna go check it out when it hits theaters on August this year. Hopefully it's good. What'd you think of this? Oh, here's Penny. Here's Penny Kitty here. Maybe she'll come and join us. Come on up here, Penny. Bribe her with some treats. Come on, Kitty. Have some treats. Come say hello to the camera there. Good kitty. What'd you think of this Blue Beetle trailer? Check it out on YouTube and let us know what you think down in the comments below. We want to hear your thoughts. The next trailer that we got was from Marvel for Secret Invasion. Now, I know this was starring Sam Jackson, who plays Nicholas Fury, so he plays Agent Fury in the MCU. So this is completely separate from DC. It has nothing to do with Batman or Superman or the Flash or any of that stuff. This is in the world with the Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, that kind of stuff. Eventually we'll get the mutants. this looked quite interesting. It looked more of a political thriller in the vein of Captain America Winter Soldier, which is one of the better MCU movies, in my opinion, at least. Yeah, I mean, if you have other thoughts, let us know what your thoughts and what you like. It also kind of reminded me a little bit of the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series that we got back in 2021. It kind of made me want to go back and watch Captain Marvel, because it's based on the comic book story Secret Invasion, same name, and it's all about the Skrulls. So it made me want to go back and watch Captain Marvel from 2019, because that deals with the Skrulls, and probably review that this weekend, because I do have a new 4K copy of Captain Marvel that I want to check out. I was surprised to see Olivia Colman in this. I didn't know much about this series other than the fact that Sam Jackson is in it. So we're also getting back, who else are we getting back? We're getting Colby Smulders back. She plays Maria Hill. Ben Mendelsohn is back. He plays the leader of the Skrull group. His name's Talos. What we got here? Kingsley Ben-Adir. Not sure that. Emilia Clarke is in it from Game of Thrones fame. So they've been trying to put her in lots of other franchises since she became such a big star in Game of Thrones. They tried to put her in the Terminator franchise. She's going to be in the MCU now. They tried to put her in Star Wars as well, which we saw in Solo, a Star Wars story that came out back in 2018. Now, I was surprised to see Olivia Colman in this. Don Cheadle's in it, Martin Freeman, they're also part of the MCU already. But yeah, I was surprised to see Olivia Colman in this, because normally Olivia Colman, I see her in auteur artistic things, such as last time I saw her in something was Empire of Light that came out last year, which I didn't really care for, and I don't think critics really enjoyed it that much. Didn't really make much money. It was one of those awards movies. She was great. She was great in it. She doesn't do a bad job of acting at all. The reason why she would want to be in this, I'm guessing, is for the paycheck, because everyone wants to be in a big franchise as an actor, because that's where the money is. She was really good in The Crown. She was in seasons 3 and 4 of The Crown, playing Queen Elizabeth for that time period, which was great. As for this, what do I got here on the series info? Says Nick Fury learns of a secret invasion of Earth by a faction of shape-shifting Skrulls. Fury joins his allies, and together they race against time to thwart an imminent Skrull invasion and save humanity. Yeah, it definitely takes me back to Captain America there, where we first saw the Skrulls there, because I don't believe those Skrulls there. The Skrulls are bad guys, and always in the comics. So why in Captain Marvel they came in and they're like, we're refugees and we're at war with the Kree and we're being hunted and we're just looking for a home and we just want to survive, and it was all about their families. I didn't buy any of that. They're aliens, but they look like goblins or hobgoblins. I got a bad vibe from them. I don't trust them. Oh no. But let me know what you think of that. Did you enjoy this Secret Invasion trailer? I quite enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to it. This is supposed to be coming June 21st. Oh geez, because June is stacked this year for movies coming out at the box office. We've got so many big movies coming out in June. I mean, with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, we're getting new Transformers movie, which I'm not really looking forward to. We're getting Indiana Jones 5 comes out at the end of the month. We're getting Elemental. We're getting The Flash, which I'm looking forward to as well. And now we got this series starting up on Disney Plus. Man, I'm going to be busy watching so much stuff and so much new stuff in June. Overall, I give this trailer, it definitely piqued my interest, and I'm really excited about it, because before I had no interest. I was like, okay, we're getting Secret Invasion. I'll wait and see if it's good. But this definitely piqued my interest, and I'm looking forward to it now. Did you watch the Secret Invasion trailer? What do you think of it? Let me know down in the comments below. Next, we got Barbie. Okay. So Barbie is coming out July 21st, 2023, starring Margot Robbie as Barbie, as well as a bunch of other people playing a lot of other Barbies. It's got Ryan Gosling, who's Canadian. He's playing Ken. I guess he's the main Ken. And we also got Simu Liu, who is Shang-Chi. If you haven't seen Shang-Chi in Legend of the Ten Rings, go check it out, because that movie's amazing. And you don't have to watch anything before. That's one of the MCU movies. We had a teaser trailer a couple months back. Christine and I had a look at it and did a reaction to it. I don't really know what to make of this new trailer. It definitely looks like Barbie, and everything looks like it's a plastic cutout. It's all plastic toys. There's now one thing I did learn about this. Will Ferrell's in it. I don't know how much he's in it, but there's another actress in it, America Ferrera, and she plays Gloria in this movie. Kate McKinnon is another Barbie. I think that's the one who. She's the one who's always doing the splits. Michael Cera is in it. I didn't know about that either. Anyway, going back to America Ferrera, I found out about her from watching Superstore on Netflix, which, man, that show was hilarious. It's all about working at a superstore. So the basic premise of that show is they're ripping on Walmart and other big box stores such as, Target, maybe Costco to some degree, but it's mostly focused on Walmart. And great show, and she's really great in it, so this kind of ups my interest in this Barbie movie. Does look funny, and it's made by who is the writer? The director is Greta Gerwig, who is an award-winning director. Some of her stuff is good, some of her stuff not so good. The awards really don't mean anything to me. A Barbie movie doesn't really speak to me. I don't know if it speaks to Christine. I can't remember what she said in our review of the teaser that we got a few months back. But it looks interesting. It definitely has a very different aesthetic, as everything is really pink, a lot of pastels, very bright. So I think all the characters are made up. They're essentially supposed to be dolls. I don't know the premise of this, whether it's similar to the Lego movie and they got the toys, but then they're in their own world doing where they're alive and they're actually doing stuff. I hope it's funny. I don't expect it to be as funny as the Lego movie, which that was an amazing movie as well. Hilarious for both kids and adults. I mean, Ryan Gosling and Simu Liu, they're Canadian. I think Michael Cera is Canadian too, so a bunch of Canadians in it. I'll check it out. Hopefully it's good. Otherwise, no strong feelings one way or the other about this Barbie trailer. What'd you think of this new trailer that we got for Barbie? Are you excited for this? Do you not care? Do you think it sounds stupid? Who knows? I mean, no one was excited for a Lego movie, and then we saw it seeing the trailers, and we saw it, and that movie's just non-stop laughs. So hopefully this one's really good as well. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Moving on to our next trailer, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, coming out June 2nd. This is from Columbia Pictures, Sony. This is probably my most anticipated movie of 2023, because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse from, I'm guessing it was 2019, that is probably the best animated film I've ever seen, and it was one of my favorite movies that year, if not my favorite for that year. It even won, I think it won Best Animated Film at the Academy, which, once again, I don't care about the awards. What I care about is that the first one was absolutely an amazing story. It was made by the same guys who made the Lego movie, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. These guys are comedy geniuses. Everything that they direct and a lot of the stuff that they're producing as well is just extremely funny, and they know how to craft a really good story. I even had people tell me at the time when Into the Spider-Verse was playing in theaters that they said this is like one of the best movies they've ever seen. It just has so much good stuff in it. You can be a hardcore fan, or you can be someone who doesn't know anything about Spider-Man. You don't even have to know Spider-Man's origin story, and still this movie is great. So the second one, definitely looking forward to it. We see more of Spider-Man 2099, whose name is Miguel O'Hara. You don't need to know any of this information to go see this movie. is voiced by Oscar Isaacs. We see more of Spider-Gwen. She's one of the Spider-Women. This movie has to deal with alternate dimensions. That's why they call it the Spider-Verse, but really it's about the multiverse. It just has to do with a lot of Spider-Man. So we see all kinds of Spider-Man in this trailer, just like we did in the last one. And apparently they're all really, at one point they get really pissed off with Miles and they're all after him. Doesn't show what they're really upset about. I wonder what it is. But there clearly is a problem where they're all abiding by these rules that I guess Miguel O'Hara has set out, and Miles Morales, Spider-Man, that's the kid. He wants to do something else. He wants to try and save everyone as well as save this one person, where it sounds as if Miguel O'Hara is saying, no, don't worry about this one person. We got to worry about the entire multiverse. This one person doesn't take precedence. But Miles isn't like that. He's like, no. We gotta try and save everyone. That's what Spider-Man does. We're the good guys. We get to see Schlubby Peter Parker is back in this movie, because he was one of the highlights of the first one. Because you get Peter B. Parker. I can never remember the name of the guy who does the voice acting for that. I mean, he is just hilarious. Oh, I don't have it here. Just give me a second. I'm going to look that up here. Spider-Man. Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, we got Haley Steinfeld does the voice of Spider-Gwen. She's also Hawkeye in the MCU. The new Hawkeye that's being traded. So Shamik Moore does the voice of Miles Morales. Peter B. Parker, Jake Johnson. This guy is hilarious, especially in the first one, because he's an older Peter Parker. He's been married to Mary Jane. Then he was divorced. Didn't take it so well, but he's like, I took it like a champ. Meanwhile, it cuts to him. He's in his suit in the bathtub with the shower on, crying. And he's got a big guts. So that's why he's called Schlubby Peter Parker. It's, once again, if you haven't seen that movie Into the Spider-Verse from 2019, check it out, because you're missing. That's the best Spider-Man movie that's ever been made to date. In my opinion, at least. Oh, it's got Issa Rae in it. She's doing Jessica Drew. Oh, she's great. Who else we got in there? Yeah, Oscar Isaac. Phil Lord, Chris Miller. No one else that I really recognize. We've been seeing the trailer for this movie for a while, where it's Miles' mom talking to him about how he's got to make a promise to her. We don't really know that much about this movie, but at the same time, I'm already sold. They already sold me on this, and I'm buying a ticket as soon as they go on sale. Especially after that first one. Not a lot of people saw the first one in movies in the theater. I'm hoping this one does much better, because oh man, it's just good movies, and you want to see good movies, and these guys are putting out good stuff. Normally, I wouldn't be that confident in a Sony superhero movie, because last one we got from them was Morbius, which, not good. Not good, in my opinion. If you enjoy it, I don't want to take that away from you. Just, it didn't work for me, and it didn't really work for a lot of people. However, and the pointing meme, there's always this thing in pop culture now with Spider-Man pointing memes, so now we get a lot of that. There's a lot more Spider-Man pointing. This is a funny thing that they keep doing, so interesting that they put that in there. Hopefully we get a lot more of that. I don't want them to spoil a bunch of jokes in this. And I'm in for this. Even if they came out with another trailer and it looked like absolute garbage, I'd still be in for this. Are you excited for this? Did you see the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Are you excited for this sequel? And we're definitely going to be getting more, because people are loving it. Are you going to go see it in the theater? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm getting back to everyone online who replies to us on YouTube, or if they're sending us emails or tweets or anything. If it's appropriate. If people are being mean, or sometimes there's hate speech, I don't even read that stuff. I mostly just delete it. Now, moving into trailer number 5. I said this was a big week for trailers. Coming out in December 22nd, right in time for Christmas, from Illumination Universal Pictures, we got Migration. which is about a bunch of ducks. Looks like a bunch of mallard ducks. Reminds me of Duck Hunt from the old Nintendo game from back in the 80s. The trailer didn't really speak to me that much. Funny thing, yesterday I was at the theater seeing the new Super Mario Brothers movie, and I think this new teaser trailer for Migration came up, but I wasn't paying attention because I normally don't watch trailers at the theater because I've seen most of them, and when it's a cartoon one, most of them don't interest me. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes you get the Lego movie or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Other than that, and sometimes you get, a great one. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. That was the best animated movie I saw, which that is a great movie. Such a fun time. And short, too. So, this Migration movie, I don't know. Don't really have much thoughts on it. We don't really know that much about it, except it's these ducks and they're making jokes all the time. I hope it's funny. Who's in it, actually? Now, this is put out by the same people who make all those Despicable Me and Minions movies. I'm looking it up on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's not even coming up. So, it's on IMDb, directed by Benjamin Renner. I don't know who that is. Who's the cast on this movie? Story doesn't say anything. Not seeing any cast on this. It doesn't look as if anyone has much information on this yet. Okay, not really much to talk about then. But if you're a big fan of the Despicable Me or the Minions movies, maybe this is something you're really looking forward to. I don't know. I can't really say much on it. If we get more trailers and it looks good, I'll go check it out. Christine and I will go check it out. Maybe we might take the kid and go see it as a whole family thing. Who knows? All depends on what happens and if it's any good. Right now, there's another animated movie playing right now called Mummies. I haven't really heard anything on it. No one said anything to me about it. And I haven't bothered to look up reviews or anything. If you've seen it, let me know down in the comments below if I should check it out or if this is a dud. What do you think about this new Migration teaser that we got? Are you excited for this? Hopefully it's funny. Hopefully it's good. I never want any movies to be bad. And then lastly, this came out last week for end of April, but we got another Netflix preview trailer for what's coming out in April, and this is where they put out, this was a 7-minute long trailer. So I watched the whole thing, even though that's quite long, but it goes through all the different properties that are coming out, new series that are coming out, new seasons of existing series, new movies that they got coming out, their original stuff, plus stuff that aired on other networks or in theaters, and now it's coming to Netflix, so they put all this stuff in it. So I watched the whole thing, and I got 4 different titles that I picked out. Now, one of them is Better Call Saul Season 6. I never got to finish watching this show, and I don't think Christine did either, because here in Canada, we watch it on network TV, and we just set the PVR to record it. But there's no obligation usually for Canadian networks to carry these shows. And if it doesn't get the viewers, they just don't pick it up. So as we were setting it to record, I think it was sometime in season 5, the network that we were watching it on just stopped airing some of the episodes. Maybe it wasn't that popular that season, even though the show has been great. I saw all the first 5 seasons, and they were great. But if the viewership drops off here, then they just don't carry it, and they put something else on, or sometimes it's interrupted by, they'll run they'll license out a movie from a network and play the movie on TV, or it'll be a sporting event. Anyway, when you're trying to watch a show consistently and it comes out, but it doesn't come out where you are, that really only gives us the option of, do we want to pirate it? And we didn't. Instead, it's just because so much stuff is coming out, yeah, I'm going to watch something else. So I have heard some things about the last season, but it hasn't really been spoiled for me. So if you know this, don't spoil it for me. Just give me your general thoughts on what you thought on the last season of Better Call Saul, or the series as a whole. Did you like it? Did you not? What did you like? What didn't you like? Okay, maybe no spoilers on that one. So I'm excited for that. But as as for the other things they have coming out, there's 3 original series I'm looking forward to. And the first one is called Beef, which comes out in April on April 6th. So we're getting that soon. Oh, that's today. Excellent. I'll give you, okay, so Stephen Young, okay, 2 strangers get into a road rage incident that brings chaos into their lives. And it's a comedy. That has potential. It stood out to me on the preview trailer. Check it out. Hopefully it's funny. Now, so far it's got good ratings, so apparently some critics have seen it. I don't know. Have you checked out Beef on Netflix yet? If you have, let me know your initial thoughts. I'm going to try checking it out this weekend, and hopefully it's good. If it's bad, like if I watch it in the first episode, it's not funny or it's just boring, I'm going to tap out. Hopefully it's good. If you have seen it, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Moving on, the next one from Netflix coming out in April. On April 12th, we're getting a series called Florida Man. Now, if you're in the United States, which I'm not, you know that Florida doesn't really look that good in the media. They kind of look like a joke state. There's a lot of stereotypes and jokes about people who live and are from Florida. But this got my interest. It's a crime genre series. A disgraced cop is forced to return to his home state of Florida for a shady mission. Wonder why he's forced to do that. And he's a disgraced cop. Why is he forced to go there? Who's hiring him? Only to get swept up in a treasure hunt. In Florida. Okay, that could be interesting. I mean, lots of old settlements there in Florida. I don't know. Maybe it's going to end up being like Uncharted. Maybe it'll be a fun series. Don't know. This one caught my eye. And the last one that caught my eye... Are you interested in that? Florida Man? Let me know if you've checked that out. By the time you've seen this video, it doesn't come out till April 12th. And the last one that's coming out that caught my eye is called Transatlantic. This is a period piece, Second World War, but it's not about fighting in Europe or in the Pacific or anywhere else. Let's see what we got here. Stars Gillian Jacobs, Corey Michael Smith, Delilah Plasko, Corey Stoll, and Gregory Mentel. Okay, the only name that I recognize there is Corey Stoll. We just got him in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which was a disappointing movie for me. If you have other thoughts, no worries. I'm not trying to take that away from you. But if you enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp, let me know down in the comments below. I had a fun time, but overall it was disappointing, and it's flopping hard at the box office. It's not making its money back. So Corey Stoll was in that, and he played MODOK, which was one of the highlights of the movie for me. I really enjoyed seeing him as MODOK, and it was all over social media and Twitter. Here's the series info on Transatlantic. Inspired by the true events of Varian Fry, I don't know who that is, Mary Jane Gold, and the Emergency Rescue Committee, risking their lives to help more than 2,000 refugees escape occupied France, including many artists on the Nazis' most wanted list. An international gang of young superheroes and their famous charges occupy a villa at the edge of the city, where the threat of mortal danger gives way to unexpected collaborations and intense love affairs. So it's a period piece drama, people escaping the Nazis in the 40s from occupied France, or possibly, it sounds like it says it's occupied France, so I don't think it gets into Vichy France, but that could be an interesting story. I'm always interested in period piece stuff from early 20th century or 19th century. Very interesting time period for me. So I'm going to check this out on Netflix. It comes out April 7th. So by the time this episode airs, which will be on the 7th, this will be out. And I'm going to check that out as well as the Beef series. Man, and with the way that Netflix does it, they drop all their episodes for a new season at once. They're starting to experiment with that. They're doing part 1, part 2. Personally, I don't really like that. I prefer having it just weekly, just once a week, or maybe they might do a couple episodes at the beginning, especially if the first episode doesn't hook you. You might need 1 or 2 episodes to get going. But I find that works much better, and that's why Christine and I have been watching the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, and Yellow Jackets, and Last of Us. It's all weekly. which does a way better job of keeping shows in the popular zeitgeist. Whereas and then they talk about it. So if the show is good and you release one episode, people who watch it will say, oh, this is good. And then it will go out on social media and they'll tell other people, you know, water cooler talk. And other people will get into it. And then as each week goes by, if it builds and builds and builds, then that's how the show gets bigger and bigger. Which is what happened with Last of Us. Last of Us started off really big, and then it just kept getting better and better. And that's why it got such phenomenal ratings. Whereas if you drop it all at once, what happens is, even if it's amazing, everyone watches it, they'll talk about it for a couple of days, and then it's completely forgotten. Which, not the best way if you want to build up subscribers and get more viewers for a streaming service like Netflix. So I'm not a fan of binging. I just don't have the time. I don't even know how many episodes is it? It only says it's 1 episode so far. Well, it hasn't come out yet. But if it does end up being 10, let me go back to Beef here. What do we got here? Beef, which is out today. How many episodes? It's 10 episodes. I'm not going to have 10 episodes done by tomorrow, even if they're only half-hour episodes. And if they're longer, hour or more, how am I going to get all that done? And also, you don't remember it. Anytime I binged a show, years ago we used to binge the Netflix Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, unfortunately Iron Fist, and Defenders. We binged those in a weekend. I can barely remember them. That's why I'm going to have to go back and re-watch them before we get the new Daredevil series. But I'm still excited for both Beef and Transatlantic and the Florida Man series. Oh, I forgot to mention Better Call Saul comes out on April 18th. But are you interested in any of these shows? Check out the Netflix April preview trailer on YouTube. Like I said, it's 7 minutes long. But it goes through a bunch of things, and it's just spots. It goes through different genres. Comedy, drama, documentaries, etc. I'm looking forward to a bunch of these things. Hopefully they all turn out to be good. Have you seen anything good on Netflix lately? Are you looking forward to any of the movies that we talked about with the trailers? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now we're going to move on to our next segment. Hopefully one of the kitties will join me. They're being difficult today. Moving on to our next segment, I was going to jump right into reviews for this week. There's a lot of new stuff, but as I said, this is a big week for trailers. It's Trailer Palooza, and now we got, hey kitty, and now we got a brand new trailer that just came out hey kitty, come on, brand new trailer that just came out this morning for Indiana Jones 5 and the Dial of Destiny. I wasn't expecting this, especially after we got a whole bunch of big trailers this week. So, what do I think about it? It shows us a bit more. It starts off with Old Man Jones. He's sitting in his house on his lazy boy chair, probably in his boxers, drinking. Someone knocks on the door. He's like, oh, what's going on? Then he's on the subway. So I'm guessing this is 1950s. Maybe late 1950s Indiana Jones. He talks about how he's retiring in it. It's got his granddaughter in it. I don't know the actress's name who's playing that. I should look that up. Here we go here. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, the last Indiana Jones movie wasn't exactly that well received. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But I do have some excitement for this one. I am a big Indiana Jones fan. I'll show you. I got my Indiana Jones DVD collection. This has the first 3. It's got Raiders. It's got Temple of Doom, which is my favorite Indiana Jones movie. And Last Crusade. This one has a special place in my heart because this one came out back in 1989. I saw this in the theater with my stepdad. It was a great experience. And then when the new one came out, we went to go see it together, and, you know, it is what it was. But here's my copy of Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is, for me, it's the weakest of the 4. But this one is not being directed by Spielberg. It's being directed by James Mangold, and he is an amazing director. He did The Wolverine, which I enjoy that movie as well. Christine enjoys it too. Logan, which I really like. Christine, not so much. He did Ford v Ferrari. I'm not a big fan of that movie, but I'm not really a Cars guy. A lot of people really enjoy that movie. So James Mangold, he knows how to make good movies. And as for this one, I mean, I don't really want to see 80-year-old Indiana Jones, but it does look fun. I'm looking up the cast here on IMDb. Phoebe Waller-Bridge plays his goddaughter, Helena. Oh, Antonio Banderas is in this? I had no idea he was in this as well. We see John Rhys-Davies in the trailer in the last one as Sala. We see in this one, Toby Jones is in it. Man, Toby Jones is in everything. This guy just pops up everywhere. So that's crazy. There's another guy in the trailer that calls out to Indy, and I thought maybe he was someone, but I can't really place it. It's right before you see John Rhys-Davies in it as Sala. If you know the guy I'm talking about, let me know right in down below if you know who that character is. I'm thinking it might be someone from a previous Indiana Jones, but I can't really place it. I doubt it's anything from the the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I don't know if you watched that years ago. If you haven't, don't waste your time. It's just boring. It's really boring. This movie's coming out end of June 30th, because June is stacked for movies this year. It's more stacked than March was, and March was pretty stacked with lots of choices. And, well, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, you got Mads Mikkelsen in it. You see young Indiana Jones, probably from back during the war. Mads Mikkelsen's dressed up as a Nazi, so he's probably still after this guy because he's chasing down Nazis in the 50s and 60s. I mean, the fact that it's 80-year-old Harrison Ford, okay, it fills me with trepidation, but I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to try to be optimistic about this and hope that it's better than Crystal Skull. As I mentioned earlier, my favorite one of these movies is Temple of Doom. I grew up watching all these movies, and Temple of Doom was always my favorite. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I mean, it's got a lot of fun, adventure. Temple of Doom Indiana Jones takes the worst beating of all the Indiana Joneses. I mean, they're using the voodoo on him while he's getting the crap beat out of him, but he saves all those kids, he saves the village, he brings back the sacred stone to the village and helps them out. Plus it starts off in China, and then there's a crash landing over the Himalayas and they end up in India. I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of downsides to the movie. It doesn't exactly cast 1930s India in the best light, and I don't believe that that's what India is like. But I still enjoy the adventure and the fun, and it's got, what's his name, Ke Kwan, Short Round. I still maintain they should have brought back Short Round for this movie, which James, Mr. Sunday Movies from the Weekly Planet podcast that runs every week, it's been going for years now. James on that has been saying that for years that they should bring back Short Round or a character like that, and I agree with him. I think that would be a great idea. Maybe they'll make another one, but I mean, Harrison Ford is only getting older now. How old is Harrison Ford now? Let me look this up on IMDb. What do we got here? Oh, geez. 1942. So, Harrison Ford is currently 80 years old, and in July he'll be 81. Damn. I don't know if they're going to be making any more Indiana Jones with him in it, but we'll see. I mean, he is going to be in the MCU as he's the new Thunderbolt Ross, because they cast him to replace William Hurt, who unfortunately passed away. I mean, because William Hurt's a legend as well as Harrison Ford is. Are you excited for Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? I'm looking forward to it. It's not my most anticipated movie of the year, even not for June, because we're getting Spider-Verse. Are you excited for this? Maybe the last one, maybe Crystal Skull left a bad taste in your mouth, and you're not looking forward to this one? I don't know. Seems fun, and I have confidence in the director, so hoping it's really good. Moving on now, we can jump into our reviews, because there's so many things to review this week. I'm even going to push a couple of things back, some new things, so they'll be on the next episode that hopefully will come out on Sunday. But if you haven't guessed now, the first thing I'm going to review, if you haven't guessed it by where I am with the background this week, first thing I'm reviewing is the Super Mario Brothers movie that just came out on Wednesday from Illumination and Nintendo. I posted a spoiler-free reaction video out of the theater on my YouTube channel that you can check out. And hopefully people have been watching that. If you enjoy, you know, give the thumbs up there, leave a comment. That helps us out so that more people will see it and then we get a bigger audience. This movie, end of the day, this was a really fun movie. It definitely had, this is also spoiler free, it definitely has mass appeal for family audiences. Not just kids, but adults can enjoy this too. It's really fun. The runtime on it, it's got a short runtime. It's 1 hour and 32 minutes. That's what it should be, especially for a kids movie. The visuals, I mean, visually, it's stunning, okay? Really great animation on it by Illumination. As I mentioned in previous segment, I'm not a huge Illumination fan, but their stuff always looks amazing, and this one probably is one of the best. As I mentioned in my reaction, it has got tons and tons of references in it. So whether you're a fan of the original Mario games on the original Nintendo system, or the Super Nintendo, or 64, even the other games like the Mario Kart games, Mario Party, there's Paper Mario, Luigi's Mansion, there's tons of Mario games from all different platforms. What was after 64? GameCube, then we got the Wii, and now they're onto the Switch. So many references in it, I couldn't even pick out all of them, but I did notice a lot of them. I mean, not just the fish and the squid monsters from the water levels, the Shy Guys, the penguins, you know, all the Koopas, the Goombas, different toads. It's great. So people that are really hardcore fans of this and have a lot of nostalgia for it, you know, I think you'll probably enjoy that. Fluffy's being difficult again today. Here, I'll bribe you with some more treats. Here you go, kitty. Come on, treats. Good kitty. What else can I say about this movie? I mean, I'm not going to say much about the voice acting. There is some good jokes in it, and it's definitely a fun time. Kids will really like it. People who have nostalgia for this will really like it. Now, say you're like Christine. She was mentioning she's not looking forward to it because she has no nostalgia for these properties. But even if she went to go see it, I think she would have a good time. Here's the downside of this, and once again, I'm not spoiling it. While it is funny, it wasn't as funny as I was hoping it was going to be. I was hoping it was going to be just as good as the Lego movie. Now, I'm always mentioning the Lego movie because this is an animated movie that is for kids, but also adults can really enjoy it. This is one of the first animated films that came out that I can recognize that adults would recommend it to other adults to go see, which is not normally the case. You know, if Disney or Illumination or DreamWorks comes out with a kids movie, you take your kids to go see it, you're not going to be like, hey, you know, talking to your friends at work and be, hey, guys, you should go check out this movie. It's really good, because it's kids' movies, you know. You take your kids, they have a fun time. If you can have a bit of a fun time as well, you know, that's a bonus. But the Lego movie was actually something that, you know, adults could go see just by themselves and have a blast with it. The first one. The second one was good, but not as good. You know, the cats just keep moving around today. So, it's not that funny as I was hoping it would be. It is still a fun time. They did ruin a lot of the good jokes in the trailers and the TV spots, so they gave a lot of that away. So if you've seen those, it's still a fun time, even if you've seen all those. I don't want to say, there is one of the people in it, one of the voice actors doesn't exactly do the best job because they're not that geared towards voice acting. I guess it's the skill that they're but I don't want to call them out on it because I don't want to be trashing or saying bad things about them, because everyone in it's really talented. The story is The story's pretty basic. If you're looking for a lot of drama and hardcore character development, that's not what this is. This is a pretty simple, straightforward movie. So, some of the voice acting wasn't the best, but that's not really a big thing. The jokes weren't quite there, and the story wasn't there. That's really my, it has 2 directors on it, and these directors don't exactly have the most experience. What do we got here? I'm going to Rotten Tomatoes right now, and so it currently has a critic rating of 54% rotten. So critics are saying it's rotten. It means 54% of them said something good about it. Doesn't mean that they thought it was the greatest thing ever. They just said something nice about it. But 96% of the audience is loving it. So it's winning people over. And this is going to make a lot of money. As I mentioned in an earlier segment, I think this is going to be probably the biggest money-making movie of this month. There's other stuff coming out, but I don't think it's going to match this. Just because of the broad appeal of it. Because you can get families that are going to it with their kids. You can get, kids can go see it on their own. Because it's only rated PG, so if you got a bunch of, 14-year-olds or teenagers can go see it. Could be a date night movie if you and your date just want to have fun and you enjoy this kind of stuff. What else do we got here? It is so the directors are Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelinek. I don't know them. I think one of them has experience with another movie. So there is kind of a lack of experience there, but this is a good attempt. I'm not crapping on these guys at all. This is definitely a good movie. Could have used more humor, for me at least, in order to make this better. That's what would have really made it. It's just more jokes. Because when you watch something like this, you just want to have joke after joke after joke after joke. Because if you're laughing the whole time, who cares if the story is basic or if the voice acting isn't the best, or even if the animation is the best, which it is in this. This is top tier animation for sure. So end of the day, I give this best movie ever. I'm not going to see it again. It's not a movie that I'm going to be buying. It's not something I'm going to be rushing out to see again and again. But I had a fun time, definitely. And if you got kids, I would definitely recommend go checking it out. But even if you just want to have a fun time in the movies and it's not too long, yeah, it's only an hour and a half. Check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Super Mario Brothers movie, because according to the latest dailies, it's making a lot of money. Hold on, let me just check that out here for just a second. So according to boxofficemojo.com, the latest dailies for Wednesday, because it came out on Wednesday, they moved it up from the Friday the 7th, 2 days to the Wednesday to get a bigger weekend, I guess. It dominated, came in first in North America, US and Canada, $31.7 million. And that was number 1. And then the number 2 movie, which is Air, Ben Affleck movie, came in at $3.2 million. So huge gap there. And, whew, I'm going to screenshot this so I can put it up on the screen. I think this is going to make a lot of money. Is it going to be a $1 billion film? I don't know. Maybe if families are enjoying it and they keep going to see it. The only other things that are in the theaters right now for kids to see, there's the Mummies movie, which I haven't seen and I haven't even bothered to watch a trailer or anything for it. And Puss in Boots is still playing. Now, when I went to the theater yesterday to go see Air, I was coming out of it, and it was around dinner time, and movie theater, it wasn't packed, but it was quite busy. It was quite busy because there was a showtime coming up, because I think it was playing in 4 theaters. It was the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It was playing in IMAX, plus their biggest theater besides the IMAX, plus 2 other theaters. So that means they're expecting some bit, because this has been tracking really well to get up for audiences to go out and see it, which means they're expecting a bigger box office for the opening weekend. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and we might read it out on a future episode, but we always want to hear from you. I want to hear what other people think. Maybe you didn't like it. Maybe you thought it was garbage. If you did, let me know. Why did you think it? Maybe you had an even better opinion than me, and yeah, let me hear your thoughts on it. I'm always interested in hearing other people's opinions on movies, because, it's art and everyone has a different opinion on it. Maybe you thought this was the greatest movie ever, and I thought it was okay. that's cool. You know, if you love it, you should absolutely love it. Don't let me or anyone else take that away from you. That was the Super Mario Brothers movie. Next, we got Air. Also, Courting a It's Air, you know, subtitle Courting a Legend. This is the new Ben Affleck movie, and it's about... This is about the Air Jordan sneaker with Nike. So this movie, once again, I posted a spoiler-free reaction, and this is also going to be a spoiler-free review. I might give away some small things. So for instance, the first few minutes of the movie is all just movie clips, and it's all just stuff from the 80s, and I'm like, great. It's like hits you with the nostalgia right away. It's all kinds of stuff from the 80s about, I can't remember the individual ones, but one of the great things I thought was hilarious from this movie, you see it in the trailer and it's on the poster, is Ben Affleck. He's wearing these 80s sunglasses, and it just looks ridiculous. It looks so funny. And he's got this terrible toupee on as well for this terrible hair. Now, this is currently sitting at 94% certified fresh critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and has a 98% audience score. It's rated R. Why is this rated R? I can't think of why this might be rated R. It's a drama sports thing. It's just under 2 hours. I don't feel it was too long because for the entire time, I was engaged for the entire time. One of my problems with movies, one reason why I say they're too long is because, one, a lot of them are way too long, but then you have all these moments that it drags. It didn't drag at all. There might have been one point where it dragged for a couple of minutes, but overall, I was engaged for this movie. I mean, you got star-studded cast for this. So this is Matt Damon. He's the star of the movie, but Ben Affleck's directing it. He is in it a bit, but he's in a supporting role. You got Jason Bateman in it. This movie's kind of a sausage fest. It's mostly guys. I mean, Jason Bateman's great in it for the little bit that he is in it. Who else is in this? You got, now, one of the people, she's not in it that much, but who really kind of steals the show is Viola Davis. I mean, if you're a fan of Viola Davis, you know that she kind of steals the show no matter what. She steals every scene she's in because I don't think she's trying to, but she always just comes out and she's like giving 110%. Every time. As I've said on this show before, when it comes to Viola Davis, there's only three people that can kill Liam Neeson in the movies. Darth Maul in Star Wars, Batman, and Viola Davis. And if you don't know, and if you know what movie I'm talking about where she kills Liam Neeson, let us know down in the comments below. So whether Viola Davis is, you know, playing Amanda Waller in one of the DC movies or the Peacemaker show, or if she's in The Woman King. What else have I seen her in recently? I'm not going to give away that movie that she was in where she kills Liam Neeson, but I have seen her in a bunch of other stuff lately. I'm just kind of drawing a blank on it. Maybe I'll look her up on, what do we got here? The Woman King, Air. What else has she been in recently here? The Unforgivable, I didn't see that. The Suicide Squad, obviously she's great. In any of those Suicide Squad movies there. Yeah, what else we got here? Another Suicide Squad movie. Ender's Game, Prisoners, Won't Back Down, Trust, Eat, Pray, Love. Man, I haven't seen a lot of these. But every time I see her in something, she's just absolutely amazing. Oh, she was in the MCU as well in Captain America Civil War. Very small part, just kind of a cameo. But, I mean, she kills it for what she's in. She steals that scene away from Robert Downey Jr. Okay, so enough gushing about Viola Davis there. Who's this? Chris Messina. He plays an agent in it. He's a pretty... Oh, Chris Tucker. Okay, Chris Tucker. I'm not a big Chris Tucker fan. He is in it in a supporting role. He always seems to play the same character to me. Whether he's in the Rush Hour movies, which I personally am not a fan of. If you like them, great. I'm not trying to bash them. They just weren't for me. The Fifth Element, his crazy over-the-top character there. Also, I'm not a fan of that movie. he always just seems to play the same kind of character, and he is in this to a certain degree. He's a little bit more toned down than in those other franchises, but anyway, he's in it. He didn't bother me. He has some funny moments, and there are some good funny moments in this movie. Interesting thing about this, it's all about Nike. We know this from the trailer and from the synopsis. It's all about Nike courting Michael Jordan in order to create this shoe line around him, and that's why we ended up with Air Jordan. So you know the end of the movie before you sit down to watch it, but the whole time I'm engaged, I'm like, yeah, what's going to happen? And then I'm like, wait, I know what's going to happen, but I'm still really interested in this. And it definitely piqued my interest. Hey there, kitty. Good kitty. There you go, just so you can see her a little bit more. What else can I say about this movie? Not too much. Not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but a good time. Ben Affleck's doing a good job directing it and being in it as well. Yeah, I give it best movie ever. I recommend go seeing this kind of movie if you're interested in this kind of story. If you're interested in going, like, if you're looking for a horror movie, this isn't it, or a straight comedy. But in terms of real life, well, a story that's based on real life events, I don't know how much of this is accurate. Great performances all around. Yeah, I definitely would recommend it. And with these ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and what critics and audiences are saying, it looks like everyone else is enjoying it too. It's not going to be as big as Super Mario Brothers movie, but let me know what you think about Air Courting a Legend. If you see it, are you going to go see it? Come back and let us know your thoughts. We want to hear from you. Leave a comment down below, and you can always send us an email or contact us on Twitter. We'll leave that contact information at the end of the show. Now we're going to jump into some other segments there. Take care. Hi there. Welcome to our new segment of Into the DCEU. This is the second chapter now. We started off before by reviewing Man of Steel. I got here on Blu-ray, which personally I really enjoyed that. Give it best movie ever. And now we're on to the second one of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice from 2016. That's such a Zack Snyder title, don't you think, dear? This is the Blu-ray HD, Blu-ray 3D. I did not watch this in 3D. Oh, there's Fluffy. She's coming. Can you believe this has the Ultimate Edition with 30 more minutes? After you finished watching it, did you feel as if you want to watch 30 more minutes of this?
No, I just wanted it to be over with.
So, this movie didn't come out to a lot of good praise. But we're continuing on to the DCEU, so I'm going to let you start out first here, dear. What did you think of this movie?
It's not good.
I agree. It's not good.
It's not good. However, I like it better than the Man of Steel movie.
Really?
So that tells you how much I like the Man of Steel movie.
Okay.
At least this one has a few things going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still really dumb. And, it makes a lot of mistakes. It's got too much going on. What goes on doesn't make much sense. Batman goes nuts for no reason. Starts beating up Superman. It's no good. And Superman, who can hear Lois Lane in another country across the oceans, cannot hear his mother when she's being kidnapped and she's in the same city as him.
This Superman can't hear across continents.
He can.
No, he can't.
Well, he can, because we show him, it shows him rescuing Lois Lane out in the desert somewhere in Africa.
He was nearby, keeping an eye on her.
Oh, can't rescue his own mother, and he has to make Batman go rescue her. It makes no sense at all. It's really dumb. Too much going on. In the end, nothing really comes out of it all. It's just bad. Okay. That's my opinion of it.
Okay, we'll do ranking in a little bit. So think about what kind of ranking you would give this. I agree. This movie's not very good. It's, as Christine was alluding to, this is very convoluted. There's so much going on as to why these two should fight. And it just, they have to cut out so much That's why there's an additional 30 minutes in this extended cut. Because, I have seen the Ultimate Edition, the extended cut. It does explain things a little bit better, but it doesn't make the movie any better. It just makes it longer.
Superman doesn't need Batman's help to go find his mother.
This movie...
He goes to ask him for help, and then he starts beating him up.
Now get this. This movie is already 2 hours and 31 minutes. The theatrical version, which is what we watched. And the Ultimate Edition is 3 hours and 2 minutes. Which is a bit too much. Now, if you're one of those people who love this and you're into the Zack Snyder verse, I don't want to take that away from you, but as I'm a big lover of superheroes, but I can't really get into this movie, and critics don't really support it either. On IMDb, it has a 6.4 ranking out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of rotten at 29%. Yep. Only 29% of critics said something nice about this. Doesn't mean they like it. They just said something nice. And only 63% of audiences like this. So this did not win wide appeal. And the box office shows it, because this is a movie that had a budget of $250 million. That's insane. That's like an Avengers level movie. You'd think it would cross $1 billion at least. Worldwide, 873 million.
It's just really bad. They should have just written it properly to make some sense. Then they threw Wonder Woman in there in the middle of it all.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is too much. So what I did while I was watching the movie, because I've seen it many times, including the extended cut, I think at least twice.
You're a sucker for punishment.
I was trying to understand why so many people were online were saying that this is the most amazing thing, but
it is not.
You wouldn't believe the people that argue about that. And if you love this, I think that's great. I'm jealous, and that's why I watched it so much. So I wrote down pros and cons, things I liked, things I didn't like. So I'm going to end on the good. So the things I didn't like. Opening with the Batman origin again. Everyone knows this. Slow motion shots. I'm not a fan of those slow mo shots. Batman branding criminals? Where'd this come from?
No sense.
Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I hate Jesse Eisenberg and everything he's in.
As a weird,
but I don't like watching him on screen. But that's just me. If you love Jesse Eisenberg,
didn't mind him.
And I don't know, I've never met Jesse Eisenberg. I'm sure he's a great guy. Who knows? The fact that they kill off Jimmy Olsen in like the first 5 minutes. That was the photographer, the CIA guy that got shot. Apparently that was Jimmy Olsen. And then right afterwards, they're blaming Superman for the deaths in Africa. And there's all this weird bullet crap because they had these experimental...
That makes no sense.
All of this is dumb.
The whole thing is just really dumb.
We get a lot of sad, mopey Superman scenes. I don't enjoy those.
He doesn't say very much.
Okay? Like he's saving all these people and it's like, we're all sad. And he's sad.
No energy, Superman.
Why is Clark obsessed with investigating the Batman? In the Ultimate Edition, we see more of him. He goes to Gotham and does more investigating, but they don't really explain what it is. Scoot McNairy's character doesn't really make any sense, and the statue,
Who's Scoot McNairy?
That's the guy who lost his legs at the beginning. Oh, by the way, we're spoiling the crap out of this.
That's just another thing thrown in there.
You don't need that, and a statue. Well, look, I'm a big Superman fan, but would they really spend public funds on this giant statue in the middle of this park?
They like parks and statues. But it's just too many things thrown in there. It's like 6 movies
Get this.
in one
So
movie.
you get Batman has this dream about the mausoleum and the bat that comes out, and then he wakes up from that into a nightmare sequence that has to do with Apocalypse and Darkseid.
The dreams are
this really big, okay? And then that opens up, he wakes up from in the Batcave, sitting in front of his computer, and he's got the Flash coming out of time to tell him that Lois Lane is the key, and I'm like, this is just way too much.
And I hate his suit. You always talk about suits and these things. I usually don't care about the suits, but I hate Batman's suit. It looks so dumb.
I don't like it. Some people really like that one.
It looks like a rhinoceros.
Oh, you're talking about the armored suit?
Yes, it's so
What
dumb.
about his regular Batman suit? Did you mind that? With the little ears?
It's just...
No, his regular Batman suit.
I don't know, but the suit that he wears in this is so
Hold on,
dumb.
I got more.
Okay, keep on going. Okay.
The white Portuguese. This comes out of nowhere. He's investigating this. Why?
It's another topic.
Okay.
It's like throw like 1,000 ideas.
And
at
Bruce Wayne seems to have Dick Cheney rationalizing for why he has to go to war with Superman. There's even a 1% chance. We have to take it as an absolute certainty.
That
really?
makes no sense.
Really?
Batman going kind of nuts and Superman going to ask for help and then forgetting he's asking him for help and just starts beating him up instead.
Batman breaks all his rules. Now, I understand that in movies, Batman is portrayed differently from the comics, and I have no problem with that. But Batman he breaks all his rules in most of these movies, okay? Because Batman's supposed to say, no women, no booze, no drugs, like stuff like that. And in this one, he's betting women, he's drinking.
You always see him with women in these movies.
Okay.
Anyway,
and also no killing.
Nothing
and
really,
he's killing in this.
Nothing
but
to do
all
with
of
Ben
Batman's
Affleck. I mean, he can be a fine Batman, but the way what they gave him to do is just stupid.
Let me keep going, okay? Martha Kent telling Clark to be a hero or not be none of that. Like that was not a good thing. Granny's peach tea jar of piss. Really? Did they really need that? I thought that was dumb to put in a Superman movie, a jar of piss.
Why is his mother working as a waitress?
Lex Luthor taking over the ship? Okay? He just walks in, puts in the key, and he's like, you want to take over? Yeah, of course I do.
That's not really the problem I have. It's how he creates this creature.
Okay. Then we get the Justice League trailers, where we see the Wonder Woman footage, and then we see the Flash footage, and then we see the Aquaman footage.
Stuck in there.
These are just trailers in their movie for other movies, which, by the way, get this. They opened them in the order that the movies were supposed to come out. So Wonder Woman's gets opened first, and we did get Wonder Woman after Suicide Squad. And then they open up the Flash, but we're only getting the Flash now. Wow. Then they open up Aquaman. We already got that in 2018. And then they open up Cyborg, and we're never getting a Cyborg movie.
Some executive said, we need to put trailers of the other movies in this movie. Make it so.
Superman climbs a mountain in Nepal and talks to his dead dad, Jonathan Kent. Really? All anti-Superman news clips? I didn't like those. Like, it's all this dissecting the superheroes.
Marvel universe.
All the Lois needs rescuing way too much. Why does she have to be rescued like 5 times in this movie? That's a bit much. Lex Luthor knows Superman's identity. Like that's a key thing of Superman.
Everybody knows Superman's identity in these movies because he doesn't try to hide in disguise.
Yeah.
He has no real disguise.
So reasons why Superman and Batman fight are extremely convoluted. We mentioned already the Martha reason. Oh my god,
it's so dumb. And
I don't
why
like
is
that.
his mother?
And then we get more of Batman's origin.
As a waitress in a restaurant.
Okay, hold on. Then we get more of Batman's origin, more flashbacks, which we don't need anyway.
All these flashbacks and talking to the dead fathers and seeing the dead fathers and the mother. And they play the exact same clip twice in the movie.
The design of the Batwing, didn't care for that.
I didn't like any of that
Doomsday design, he never got to look like Doomsday. At first, he was like this weird, like, pudgy potato sack golem.
That he actually
looked more like the cave troll from Fellowship of the Ring than he did Doomsday. At the beginning, except he was brown.
Well, it didn't even make sense that he was created.
Why do they need to cram in the Doomsday story and the Death of Superman storylines? This movie is already packed as it is.
It's like a bunch of people got in a room and said, let's do some brainstorming. What do you want to see in this movie? And a bunch of people said about 30 things. And they said, guess what? We're putting them all in this movie.
Amy Adams' action scene where she does a run and then she has to get the spear. No, I don't need that.
Why is she almost
adding Wonder Woman is too much. That was point number 32. Why can't Wonder Woman have pants? I mean, I'm not the first one to make this complaint, but she should have pants.
And also, he rounds going near the spear, but yet in a minute later he can carry it and fly with it.
Yeah, he dives in to get it, and then he's just floating up there, and then Lois has to save him. That was dumb. Anyway, in the home wake, who has a home wake anymore?
Yeah.
And the body is Amish? Like 10 feet from the food.
And
What's
they're like
going on?
Amish or something. They got a wagon. They do have vehicles in Kansas.
Point number 30.
They have hearses and cars and such. They don't need to use a whole horse and wagon there. And the Amish people, and like no one comes to his funeral. Like all those people we see
like
in the
12 people
in the first movie that recognized him. They were too cheap to bring them back.
Anyway,
like the guy
point number 35.
In the bus.
It's too long. And you certainly don't need your own vision. And then point number 36, the floating dirt at the end. That never amounts to anything. That is just, they ended it on a cliffhanger, and by the time they got to next to the next...
dirt? Is that what his power?
No, that means like he's coming back over.
I guess, but it wasn't done right.
No, it's a reference to Man of Steel.
Punched through the casket.
It's a reference to Man of Steel that he does that when he's about to fly.
And why the Amish taking him? And why are they driving through the fields? You don't drive when you're a farmer.
I'm really angry about this.
You do not drive when your crop is ready to be harvested. You do not drive over it. Oh my god. You know, you can't harvest it when it's squashed.
You have a lot of complaints about this
movie. I do. I just think it just drives me. And I like it better than the first one, the Man of Steel. So you can tell how much I hated that one.
I got 16 points for things that I liked about this movie.
Okay, let's hear.
First point. I enjoyed Jeremy Irons as snarky Alfred. He's great in this. He's so snarky and just making all these quips and snarky remarks under his breath at him. Yeah. He's like, oh, you know, if you're not careful, the next generation of Waynes is going to inherit nothing but an empty wine cellar because this Batman is drinking so much. And then he's like, not that there's likely to be another version of the Waynes the way you're at it.
If you had never seen a Batman movie before, you wouldn't really understand who Batman is from this movie. It doesn't really make sense. You don't even think he has any money.
Though they put the origin in?
Mow his lawn or like mow the graveyard where his family, like he can't even get a mower.
The only thing we're allowed to say right now is things we like, okay? I didn't, despite all the saving, I enjoyed Amy Adams as Lois Lane. She's doing a great job with the very little that she's given here, but she's under contract, and if they only give her a few lines, just like they don't give Batman very many lines, so it's, I mean, because the dialogue's not great. Now, I did enjoy the returning Man of Steel cast, because they got the people from, they got all the people from the newspaper.
I guess they forgot about his classmates that love him, and he rescued them from death, and they didn't even come to his funeral. Yeah, they're in the first movie, in the Man of Steel movie, and they couldn't pay to bring them back.
All the ones that were shown there were in flashbacks, except for the one guy with the red hair who was the manager at the IHOP.
There's also a girl too that's in it.
Okay, they brought in the reporters. They brought in Perry, Lawrence Fishburne playing Perry White.
Need to be in it. They didn't even need any of that newsroom stuff. To tell you the truth, they didn't need any of the newsroom.
No, they didn't need that, except for explains why she's getting helicopter rides. But anyway, I did enjoy that they brought back a lot of the cast there. Harry Lennox. And the captain, who is now a major. They brought back those people. I enjoyed that. I like the reference. There's a Nicholson Terminal and Dock Company. So that's a reference to Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker. That's why they did that. I like that reference. The Batmobile chase scene is pretty good, actually. I mean, it's way over the top, but it's fun. I enjoyed that.
In that one?
He was chasing the truck because they had the shipment off the White Portuguese, which was the kryptonite container.
Oh, yeah, another thing thrown in there.
Told you, I've watched this movie. I don't know, at least a dozen times.
Too much.
I did enjoy after that chase scene. There's a Batman and Superman stare down. They stare off at each other, and they're like talking trash to each other. That was pretty good. And as Superman flies off, and Batman's like, "You will." He's like, "You will bleed." Superman definitely heard that. So
well, apparently his hearing's not so good
I did
anymore.
Enjoy how they used kryptonite in this film. How Batman made it into a spear, but also with the gas grenades. I like that idea. It just, the fight was too short.
They misused it.
Now, the fight was way too short of Batman versus Superman. And it had this all convoluted mess leading up to it. But what we did get, I really did enjoy. I enjoyed Batman knocking the crap out of Superman there for a while. That was fun.
I'm like, this is just stupid.
I enjoyed Batman's training and weapons building montage. So he had that montage there where he's doing CrossFit. He's Captain CrossFit now, being really abusive to tires.
A lot of people went out and got a bunch of tires.
You didn't like it, but I enjoyed the Batman armor suit.
I thought it looked that looked really good. Cumbersome.
That's very much a reference to the 1980s comic, The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. Hardcore Batman fans.
I didn't like it.
It's like Zack Snyder. They love that book, and that's why he tried to put so many of the concepts from it, and clearly it didn't work.
Like a tinfoil hat or something.
I really enjoyed Superman's suit as well. He's looking great in his suit.
It's a suit. I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, it's just the same.
Sometimes they've done Superman suits that look really bad. The Brandon Routh one had like 20 Superman symbols all over it. It even had them on the boots and the belt buckle.
You haven't got
like,
the
what's
message
going on?
yet. You gotta look at my belt buckle.
I really enjoyed the Hans Zimmer. Well, I wouldn't say I really enjoyed. I did enjoy the Hans Zimmer score. It's not as good as the Man of Steel score, no way. But I did enjoy the score a lot.
Wasted on a movie like
the
this.
Batman warehouse fight scene was quite enjoyable. Batman beating the crap out of all of them and using gadgets to just knock their guns out.
It should have been Superman that was there, not Batman.
You weren't watching. He was busy confronting Lex and dealing with
He would have got his mother right away.
And dealing with...
They should have explained it
dealing
that
with
they
Doomsday.
They should have kidnapped...
Hey, can I finish
Spider-Man.
good things about
and
this?
had him so that he couldn't find his mother.
Dear, let me speak.
Okay,
Come on, you're being rude here. I let you speak. I did enjoy the Batman warehouse fight scene. In the Ultimate Edition, there is more of that, and it's even more hardcore, so it wouldn't be for kids. Kids wouldn't be able to see it. Like the guy that stabs him in the shoulder and then he stabs him, he does even more stuff to him.
Stabbing?
And then he's like, I'm a friend of your son's. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
When he rescues Martha Kent, he's like, don't worry, I'm a friend of your son's.
Come with me, I'm very creepy. But that's exactly
that's not what Batman would say.
No,
I'm a friend of your son's.
That.
But I thought it was hilarious. Anderson Cooper cameo, nice to see that. Even though I didn't enjoy all those news clips, I'm like, it's Anderson Cooper, all right. And the cinematography the cinematography was quite good as well.
Okay, you're giving it to the cinematography. They're searching there.
No, it was good cinematography.
Crap,
I mean, it had good fight scenes in it.
The music and the cinematography was good. I didn't mind Batman's suit. No, these are valid compliments here. I didn't mind Jesse Eisenberg.
There's a lot of movies that I don't notice the score because it's just there in the background. So when I enjoy it, I'm like, yes, I understand this. Okay, the Man of Steel score, I definitely recognize. You know, you'll recognize instantly the Avengers score, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But if it's just like Jurassic Park, you'll recognize Indiana Jones. Star Wars is the biggest example. But if it's another movie where it's like it's just in the background, you don't really notice it. Is there a great score to Shazam? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm just listening.
See?
I'm watching Succession right now. I just finished season 1, and that has a great score. However, they used the music too much in the first season, the same music, but now they got some different.
So getting back to our topic, Zack Snyder's great title, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Which also is just dumb.
Well, it's not the best title, but it's the start of the Justice League. That's why it's the Dawn of Justice, because we're going to get the Justice League. Then we're going to get the Justice Society. Then we're going to get Justice League Dark. And I'm like, these guys need to think of better names for their teams, because they all say Justice.
Batman rescues Superman's mom because Superman's too busy. That would have been a better title.
What was the other 2 hours of it?
It was just too much fun. I didn't mind Jesse Eisenberg as a villain, but he's just one more thing they're trying to pack into this movie.
So this movie came 3 years after the Man of Steel movie. So in terms of launching a cinematic universe, they didn't have everything set up right away.
Right.
So they made Man of Steel, saw how it was. Okay, now we're going. So then we're going to get Batman v Superman. That'll be the next one. So Zack Snyder had 3 years to work on this. And he had to meet that deadline. And then we started getting Suicide Squad and so on and so on. But then it started to break down. And that's why there end up being more and more gaps between these DC movies. And that's why we have way more Marvel movies and way less DC movies.
I mean,
so
Ben Affleck does a good job. I don't like Henry Cavill's Superman, the way they've directed him or something. He hardly says anything. He has no shine. He has no sparkle. He just is such a blah guy.
That's how he was directed to act. That's not his fault.
But it's just not good. He has nothing special about him. And Batman, even
Batman's
though
even
we
too
don't
dark in
see
this for
much
Batman.
about, we don't really understand all about Batman in this movie, because if you never saw it before, you wouldn't really get
why
it.
is he branding people? That was one of my complaints.
And why is he wet all the time? And anyway, but it's still, it makes sense as Batman, the character himself, the actor, and the way he's portraying it.
Mm-hmm.
But this Superman portrayal, again, is just so bad. And that's why I really didn't like the first one. He's just so mopey, and he's like a dopey kid that lives up the street.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't be Superman.
That's not Henry Cavill's fault. That's how he was directed to act in all these scenes.
They did a bad job on that.
Okay? That's the vision of the director and the writers.
Yeah.
And the producer, the main producer on the movie.
This
is the vision that they want to have.
His mother now has to work in a restaurant, in a diner, as a waitress.
Oh, wait till you see where she works.
Won't help her. He won't even paint her house in the first movie. They don't even go inside of her house in this one. Did you notice that?
Does she still have the house in this one?
They talk on the front lawn. You only see inside the house when he's being waked in the house.
Okay.
That's weird.
I think there's more of it. There might be more of that in the Ultimate Edition. I don't remember. But we do find it. We do get a continuation of her story in the next one. Wait till you see where she's working in the next one.
Let the woman retire, man. Gosh, she could just paint her house in 2 seconds.
Her husband died and she doesn't have any money.
She got this kid who's a Superman. That's what I mean. He's such a goof. He doesn't even contribute. And said he's got this big job in Metropolis. He doesn't even help his mother. It just doesn't make sense. He doesn't even rescue her. He's a bad son. Bad son.
Well, he already rescued her.
He doesn't rescue his dad either. Or the dog.
Okay, apparently Christine doesn't like this movie a lot more than me. There's some redeeming qualities to it, but you just don't seem to like anything about it. Can you say something good about this that you like?
I said I like Ben Affleck as Batman.
I
and
do
Jesse
as well.
Eisenberg as a villain. However, he didn't even need to be in this movie because there's so many other things in this movie. We got multiple villains.
Yeah.
We got too much going on.
This is one we just kind of got through for getting through the DCEU. Now I got some information for you on that. So the DC Extended Universe, as we call it,
yes,
it was never actually named that by Warner Brothers, who made all these movies, right?
Not good at the marketing, are they?
No. And one of the reasons for that is because there's been so many regime changes at Warner Brothers. Okay, as these movies are being made, so you got one regime that, you know, that starts it, and then another regime comes in. They're like, we don't like what's happening, so we're course correcting. And then another regime comes in, and they're course correcting. And then a movie comes out and doesn't do as well as they want, so they immediately course correct. So it's just a lot of people who don't know how to deal with this material. They don't understand the source material and the fandom out there. So they're like, we're gonna do what they don't know what's gonna work, right? And so they make a Superman movie. It doesn't live up to their potential. Okay?
No, the writing is bad.
And then they make a Batman and Superman movie that really should have easily hit $1 billion at the box office. It's got Batman and Superman and movies, Wonder Woman.
The writing is poor.
But yeah, on this one, I didn't like it.
They need to put money into those writers.
Well, at Warner Brothers, they tend to hire a lot of the same writers.
Yes.
And remember who I told you who was on one of the writers on the first one is also. Remember who I told you who it was?
I mean, when you're
and he's also a writer on this. It's David S. Goyer and.
Okay. But I mean, it was obviously he was
really
under pressure to put trailers of other movies in this movie. How are they gonna insert that? Like, they have like a script, and then some like executive says, "Oh, we need to put these exact trailers in this order in this movie. Figure out a way to do it."
Actually, speaking of that, this is an aside because we just a series of tangents here. Every studio seems to have learned that lesson the hard way. Because this is DC at Warner Brothers, they learn you can't just make a movie that's a trailer for future movies, and that's a lot of what this movie is. Now, Sony learned that lesson when they made Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then that bombed because it was just trailers for future movies, and we're like, it wasn't good. Make a good movie. Marvel Studios learned that lesson a long time ago, back in 2010 when they made Iron Man 2. because a lot of people don't like that one. And it's just setting up future movies. It's just a bunch of trailers, and you got to make a good movie, not worry about the next 10 movies. You still got to make a good movie, because if your movie doesn't do well, it could end your franchise right there.
They could have brought Wonder Woman in at the funeral. They could have brought her in then. They didn't need to have her.
As like a scene, and that's when Bruce first meets her and talks to her?
Yeah,
that would have been a good
Instead of inserting her and she's all over the place.
Anyway, let me get back to the previous point I was making before we got diverged there. So DCEU was never actually named that by Warner Brothers, and they never officially acknowledged it. It was just named that by the media. Oh. And so they never got around to naming it. And apparently at one point there was a news report that came out that said one of the regimes, I think like the second or third regime, came out with a name for it. And they released it, but then like a week later everyone forgot it. But I think they came out with a name, and it was called Worlds of DC. Which, not a bad name.
But it's not worlds, really. It is more universes than anything.
Yeah. Anyway, not really good marketing or management over there at Warner Bros. Over the last 10 years or so with making these movies. But anyway, despite this one, I still am enjoying watching the DCEU movies. I'm looking forward to watching all of them, and the one show that's in canon as well.
I like the Shazam movies.
We're not getting to that.
But those are the only ones I think I did like.
Okay. What rating would you give Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice?
I'd give it like a 40.
40?
Yeah.
That's more than what you gave Man of Steel, so...
That's what I'm saying. I liked it better than Man of Steel, and that's not good. On
the internet rating system, I gotta give it worst movie ever. I'm not trying to pick a fight with anyone. If you love this movie, I don't want to take that away from you. I'm jealous. That's why I watched it so much. I'm like, what am I not getting here?
Like the first
if you enjoy it, please write in down below and tell us, what do you enjoy about it so much? And, just be civil about it. I want to hear other opinions. Maybe I'm just not... I don't know. It just wasn't for me, I can say. And I'm just...
It's written for you, though. It's supposed to be for you.
Yeah. As a hardcore fan of this kind of stuff growing up, the fans should love it. And this is a very divisive movie because they've divided the fan base. The people that love this, they're diehard and they love it, but the majority of fans aren't loving it, and it's the vocal minority that are saying, no, these are amazing, we want more Snyderverse movies. They're the vast minority of people.
I mean,
unfortunately, for those guys. Yeah. But in general audience aren't enjoying this, and without the general public supporting these movies, you're not going to be getting to make billion-dollar movies, and then these high-budget movies will go away because studios won't make them if they're not good and people don't support them.
I remember when
this didn't really make much money.
When we watched it in the theater, you were heartbroken over this movie. I
don't know if I was heartbroken. I was quite annoyed.
Excited about it.
I was excited about it.
I kind of expected kind of what I got. After Man of Steel, I really didn't like it, and this one was a little bit better. I found the first half an hour is interesting. You're trying to figure out, well, how will Batman and Superman be against each other? And they start going down that road, but then it gets all convoluted, and it really doesn't make sense in the end.
He's all pissed. He's all pissed off. He's like, that alien son of a bitch brought the fight to us, so we gotta take him out.
But instead of Batman being with the guy with no legs, instead of him talking with him anymore, because he does save him, there's
no need for that character
dealing with him instead. So that didn't.
That's just so he could plant a bomb on his chair.
That made no sense. It should have been Batman. This was a guy that Batman loved a lot, and he saw what he did to him, and Batman seeing many other victims of this fight. Maybe that would have made more sense. It was going there, but then it just verged.
Yep.
Made a U-turn. I don't know.
That's our thoughts. If you have other thoughts, or if you agree, or if you think, well, whatever you think on this movie, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, you can always give us a like. And if you want to subscribe, the little box that's going to be down there, go right ahead. We post more content here all the time. Are you looking forward to the next one? I got my new 4K copy of 2016 Suicide Squad.
Not really, since you told me not to watch it.
I said, that's not what I said. I said don't watch it in the theater.
No, I couldn't go to the theater. I think I was sick at the time. I
haven't seen this since I saw it in the theater.
I wasn't able to see it in the theater with you before you knew it was bad, and then you said just don't bother with it.
Batman v Superman came out in February, something like that, or March,
We went to see it together. I do remember that.
and Suicide Squad came out, I think, in August of the same year. So that's our next one as we go into the DCEU. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, we're going into our other segment of Nap Time at Hogwarts.
That's your name for it.
It's a funny name, and it's a funny thumbnail that I put up there with the three of us sleeping.
Gregory basically has decided he won't like Harry Potter,
No. So we watched Harry Potter 2, Electric Boogaloo, and...
See, you're jaded against it.
No,
anyway,
that's a funny reference that I gave there. So it's the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
Came out in, when did this come out? Like 2002 or something?
Gregory wasn't paying attention because he had many questions.
I was trying to, but I kind of kept nodding off. So
understand
there's
what
some
was
good
going
stuff in
on.
this. I didn't understand what's going on. So they're looking for this Chamber of Secrets. Why are they looking for this Chamber of
They
Secrets?
explained
I don't know.
You weren't paying attention. You were on your
Must have
phone.
completely missed
You were
it.
on your phone.
Okay, so it starts out.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well, this movie is from 2002,
Spoilers.
so it's
They
21
do
years old.
explain it. There was 4 founders of the school, and Slytherin made this chamber and put a beast in there, and no one could ever find it because they basically had an argument. And he took off and left,
and it's
and
magic.
they've never been able to find the beast or the
So
chamber.
the entrance to this chamber is in the girls' washroom because that's
Well,
where
there's
you would put
multiple
it.
good washrooms.
And
but
there's a
no one would
girl
look.
there's a girl that died on the toilet,
Well,
and now she
Myrtle.
haunts the toilet
It's
stall in
funny,
the girls'
like,
washroom. That's
How
pretty
did she
funny.
come up with this stuff? You know what I mean?
Who dies on the toilet?
And
How
yeah,
did she
it's
die?
hilarious. She says how she died. She was hiding in there because girls were teasing her, and then all she saw was these big eyes, right? And they killed her. You didn't pay attention.
Was it a giant? Was it the
Yes,
giant snake?
The giant snake. And the whole thing is that in this we learn more about Harry Potter, that he's a parcel tongue, which means he can speak to snakes. Now, we have seen him speak to snakes in the previous episode, but us and Harry Potter didn't know that was a special special gift.
This
but
is
it is.
why there's so many millennials right now that are obsessed with snakes and reptiles.
Well, maybe
because
that's
they would have
why.
watched this when they were younger. I didn't watch this because I was too old for it when it came out in 2002. I was not into Harry Potter. It's kind of aimed more at a younger crowd.
The only person I know that
And-
likes snakes.
And
I
I'm
don't
like,
love
so
them.
people are obsessed with snakes now.
Maybe
So
that's
they
why.
probably got this because of the Slytherin and this giant snake in this movie.
The basilisk. Yeah.
That's not what a basilisk is. A basilisk is supposed to be a lizard, and it turns you to stone, which
Well, it turns you
it
to
does
stone.
turn you to stone. So this is less
This is
kid
her
friendly than the
world.
previous
Oh
one.
yes, and this
Than
is
original
this
recipe
is what
Harry Potter.
happens with Harry Potter.
So you got a giant snake in it that's like 100
He's in the
feet
plumbing.
long, and it's going around these giant pipes. Why do they have such giant pipes?
because
I
it's
don't
a
know.
giant old castle with lots of different parts. It's like
That makes even less
it's
sense.
like our Waterford Hospital here in St. John's. Like no one really knows where all the pipes go or where all the rooms go, and they got sealed off rooms. It's like that. It's like the Waterford
You
Hospital.
still wouldn't have gigantic, like 5 foot in length, 6 feet in length in width pipes
Yes,
for this
because
giant snake to
Slytherin-
go around.
He made it that way. You don't understand. He did that on purpose.
You're right. I don't
He doesn't
understand. But you get okay. So the first bit, he's at home with his foster family there.
His uncle and aunt.
Yeah, that's his foster family, and they treat him like
They
garbage.
hate him.
But they were nice to him. They let him stay in his
He
cousin's
has a
second
room.
bedroom.
Yeah, second bedroom.
Second bedroom.
Because of what happened the last time, they gave Dudley a tail, and they got too scared, so that's why they
Okay.
give him a room. But they have him barred in, and and we see a new character, a charming character that you didn't like, Dobby, appears.
Oh, he's
and I
a little
love that
bitch.
season. You didn't like Dobby at all. Well,
What a
there's more
bitch.
to come with Dobby. You don't. Yeah,
He just
you have to
causes all
understand him
kinds
more.
of problems.
Yes, he
and
does. I love that first scene when he
He's that
throws
little
the cake
annoying
on the,
kid that you
on
don't. Here, let me talk, okay? He's that little annoying kid that you would never want around, and when you're in school. So Ron has to come and bust him out with his flying car.
It's hilarious.
And it's this really boring sequence. I personally
I
didn't
thought
really
it was
care
fun.
for it. But at the same time, hold on. Ron.
It's fun.
Ron has got a broken wand the whole time.
Oh, yeah,
so he's got his broken wand, okay, which essentially he's going around, he's got a broken dick, and he keeps trying to use his wand on everyone, and he keeps backfiring on him. So that was kind of funny, but he still keeps like threatening everyone. It's like, don't mess with me. I got my wand here. Even though it's broken and
it's a lot of charm
and taped together.
And well, because he's poor.
He tries to cast a spell on the little bully kid, Malphus. Is that his name? Malfoy.
Draco.
And so this Malfoy kid is like Nazi poster boy, blonde hair, blue eyes, and he's a dick.
They are the whole family.
And he tries to cast a spell on him, and it gets put back on him because his wand is broken, and he ends up barfing up slugs for the next couple hours. He's with a bucket. He's like, oh, slugs keep coming out.
We learn more about Hagrid and
Hagrid is a really annoying character. He's really dumb.
He's not allowed to do magic. He has like a different
because he's a simpleton.
Because of what happened in school, he's not allowed to do magic, but he sneaks it in.
Because
that's why
he opened up the chamber, the snake chamber. That's the secret to this chamber. There's a bunch of snake sculptures, and there's a giant snake.
He didn't open it. You didn't understand the whole movie.
No, I did.
Tom Riddle opened it.
I have no idea what's going on in these movies. Tom Riddle was the guy from the 50s who was fake, and it turned out to be that's the ultimate bad guy. The guy Voldemort,
you said his name!
Who died when he tried to kill Harry Potter as a baby and said Harry Potter killed him, but Harry Potter's got the mark of Zorro on his forehead. So he ran into Zorro, and Zorro
it's a lightning bolt. Anyway, you don't understand.
Looks like the mark of Zorro.
You have to keep on watching it. This is all developing the story. Harry doesn't know a lot of things about
why did they have to find this chamber of snakes? Because I don't understand why they were so looking for it.
Because it's about the evolution of Voldemort. I'm not going to get hit by lightning, I hope. And how he's trying to get back to power. This was another way. And now he's got people helping him. The first season, he was able to get into Quirrell and try to get back that way. This time he's got the Malfoys on the case trying to help him, and he's trying to get back that way.
Is Malfoy really helping him?
Yeah, he had the journal, and he put the journal in Ginny's cauldron. So Ginny had the journal, and Ginny got taken over by the journal, which is basically Voldemort is so powerful that even his journal has so much power. That's the whole idea. You didn't understand anything.
I didn't understand it at all. And we have to see Quidditch again, which...
You hate Quidditch.
Quidditch is so...
It's freaking dangerous.
It's so British.
It's so dangerous. I mean, it's like soccer.
When I think of Quidditch, I think about that movie, The Internship, with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. What? This came out over 10 years ago, and they're trying to get an internship at Google. And one of the things they have to do, their team, they have to play Quidditch.
Oh, they do.
And they're like, yeah, we're really good at sports. They got their Quidditch things, and they got their brooms, and they're like, we're good at sports. And they're playing the Fox football music when they're running out to the field. And then what happens is they start to play Quidditch, and they're like, what the shit is this? Like, they don't understand it. These are like 40-year-old guys. They've never heard of Harry Potter or Quidditch.
They're like you.
And then suddenly they bring out the golden Snitch.
Snape is a character.
And they're like, you gotta be kidding me. Why do we gotta chase this guy around and
Snape is the professor.
And like steal his golden balls that are hanging off him.
There's only one. It's a golden snitch. You don't get it at all.
I'm talking about this movie, The Internship.
Okay, quiz. What's a mandrake?
I have no idea. I'm guessing it's some kind of man whore demon.
Pay attention to the whole movie.
I tried, but I kept zoning out.
Who is Professor McGonagall?
Was that, hold on. That was,
Did you get this one?
No, it was that famous actor. I just can't remember his name there.
I totally don't get what's going on in this. Brendan Gleeson is in these movies, but he's not yet. He's not in it yet. He hasn't been in it yet. Oh my god.
No, not Brendan Gleeson.
He's gonna be in it.
Why Why can't I
Totally
find
not
it?
getting. Anyway, Gregory's basically, yes, nap time at
Toby Jones is in this.
at Hogwarts because Gregory is like on his phone and sleeping when we're watching these movies. Anyway, all you Harry Potter fans out there, I know you can laugh with me.
Kenneth Branagh. That's who that guy is. He's this coward guy. Okay, that's the name I couldn't remember.
Magical
Kenneth Branagh is in this, and he's this coward guy who makes up all these stories. So
Gilderoy
they
Lockhart.
decide. No, it's really dumb. All the adults get together, the professors and everything, like freaking Dumbledore, who's pretty useless. Hagrid's been hauled off by freaking
Hagrid.
Jason Isaacs, who's a real dick in this.
Dumbledore.
And there's all this fighting, so the adults get together, all the professors, and like there's some crap going on, and the school might get shut down. And it gets really dark at one point because they're like, we're killing this cat, and we're stapling the cat to the wall.
Okay? The cat.
And they're using its blood to write messages. I'm like, that's pretty dark for a kid's movie.
It was
There's a dead cat. It's a dead cat.
What's the name of the cat?
I have no idea.
Mrs. Norris. She's petrified. She wasn't killed.
So all the professors get together and they're like, we gotta do something because otherwise the school's gonna get shut down. We'll send the coward, Kenneth Branagh, and we'll get all these kids to go take care of it. And then they just take off. What are all the adults doing? Packing to leave the school? While Harry Potter is fighting this giant snake, and they're just like, it's time for a spot of tea, you know, let's go sing God Save the Queen. Like, what is this nonsense? Why aren't the adults doing anything? The adults are pretty useless in these movies.
Yeah, because they're little kids. Do little kids go to their teachers and tell their teachers all the thing? No. They go to Gilderoy Lockhart, and then they find out what a coward he is.
This makes no sense. You got all these powerful wizard professors, and they can't defeat this giant snake and this evil wizard?
They don't even know about it. They don't know where it is. Anyway,
maybe if they paid attention, because Harry Potter knows more about what's going on than they do.
Next week, you should watch this movie again and actually
fall asleep. That's our review of Harry Potter 2 Cruise Control.
Fantastic movie.
Let us know your thoughts on Harry Potter. I don't get what's going on, and every time I try to pay attention, I just kind of nod off. I'm like, oh boy, wow, they're driving a flying car and they're talking about Quidditch. Oh gee, wow, this is so amazing.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. It's so funny that you don't get it.
Anyway,
I love it. And you see how this movie is darker? They don't kill Mrs. Norris. She's petrified.
They kill the cat. They pin it up to the wall with a dagger. And the blood's all over the wall.
It's not dead. Anyway,
it wasn't moving on the wall.
It was petrified. Do you know what petrified?
Yes, I know what No,
it's petrified.
The cat wasn't petrified. All the other people are petrified from this snake basilisk, which a basilisk is supposed to be a lizard, not a snake.
Moaning Myrtle is the only one that was killed by it, and she was killed 50 years ago. Anyway, it's funny.
What rating would you give this movie?
Oh, like this one's a 95. I love it. It's starting to get good.
Internet rating system? Worst movie ever.
You didn't even watch it. You're on your phone.
I watched the whole thing. Also, considering
you don't even know who McGonagall is.
Considering it's a children's movie, why is it 2 hours and 41 minutes? It's even longer than the first one.
Listen,
this is ridiculous.
And as they go along, you're gonna see they get more adult and they get more serious.
Do they get longer?
I don't know if they get longer. They're epic. Anyway, he doesn't get it.
I wouldn't say it's epic.
You guys out there that like Harry Potter are probably laughing too, because I'm with you. Anyway, it's fantastic. I love Harry Potter. I love the books. I love the movies. I don't like the new movies about the monsters and that. I don't like
the Fantastic Beasts ones.
I
didn't like them either, and I talked about it in our previous segment. But this has been a new segment of Nap Time at Hogwarts. We hope you enjoyed this. Hi there, thank you for joining us again. My name's Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely co-host, Christine.
Hi.
Ooh, there's Penny walking across the screen there.
Today.
And Fluffy Kitty is here.
Special treat.
Oh, big family here. So, it's Easter now. So for the Easter weekend, we got ourselves some gifts for each other.
Yeah, Gregory didn't want any treats. Like, they normally get you chocolate, but...
No, I'm trying to follow a strict
Kit Kats is
meal plan, so, you know, I'm not into that right now. So I got you a nice gift here. I hope you enjoy it. Happy Easter.
Thank you. There's one for you.
Thank you, dear. You want to go first, or should I go first?
I'm opening it.
Okay, go right ahead.
What is it? What is it, dear?
It's a nice skirt for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's like a sundress.
Thank you.
There should be another one in there.
Another dress? Oh, thank you very much. Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much. I would have to go out in order to enjoy them. You have to take me out.
Well, yeah, they're for the summer. Okay, let's see, what'd you get me? Oh, you got me another great disc there. 4K of The Great Gatsby by Baz Luhrmann.
One of my favorites.
That is a great one. When is that?
Of all time.
2016.
I actually own that on my tablet, on my device,
Maybe
electronically.
I'll probably watch that over the weekend while you're away. Because Christine's going to be visiting her family. So give me a time to watch that and I'll review it. 2016.
Movie.
Yeah, well, that's
great. I really love it. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, dear. And that's this segment of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. You can always give us the thumbs up and you can subscribe for more content. Yeah, leave the cat alone.
I was going to say,
dear.
the cats will get treats for Easter.
Take care. Moving on, we're going to wrap up the show now. So Christine was here for some of the segments that we recorded earlier in the week. She will be back in about a couple of weeks there, so she might not be back for next weekend's episodes, but she's coming back. Till then, it's just going to be me and then our stars of the show, Fluffy Kitty, and maybe we'll see Penny Kitty. Well, if you want to get in touch with us, you can always shoot us an email at canadamovietvhosers@gmail.com. This is for if you want to submit a topic for us to discuss. So if you come across a good entertainment news story, you can go ahead and shoot that to us and so we can discuss it. If you got a particular piece of property that you want us to review, maybe you have a favorite movie or a movie you don't like and you want us to check it out, or a TV show, if we can check it out, we will. Otherwise, we're just going to keep moving along with whatever things we plan to. But we're always open to suggestions there. If it's something that, if someone says they want to watch all the Star Trek movies, which one, I don't want to go back and watch most of them, but because a lot of them aren't that great. Some are really good, but I don't have Paramount Plus, so it's kind of difficult for me to get access to all those. Anyway, shoot us an email there, please. You can follow us on Twitter. I try to post all the time when we got new upcoming episodes coming out, and when episodes do get posted, I put that up there on Twitter, so you can get notifications there. That is @CanadaHosers. In terms of if you're sending out a tweet and you want us to notice it and possibly read it out on the show, you can use the hashtag #CanadaHosers. Pay attention for that all the time. We also got, you can follow me on Twitter as well. I'm mostly just posting pictures of our stars here, the kitties. I'm @St. John's Critic. And from all of us, thank you for tuning in. Take care.